Hey guys, time to chill out with Sub-07 and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Crystal. Last time, we defeated Misty of the Cerulean City Gym, netting us our 3rd Kanto badge and our 11th badge overall. Not doing too shabby for ourselves. As well as getting ourselves the Magnet Train Pass, giving us easy access back to the Johto region. And unintentionally acquiring the GS Ball, but that's for another time. This time, it's finally on to Rock Tunnel. Now once again, we need Jerry for this because we need to cut down this tree. So I once again sacked Alucard and put him in the box. He's been naughty. While we're doing this, though, I do have some points of conversation that I wanted to talk about regarding Gold and Silver's development. Because there's quite a few bits of lore about the games that a lot of people have misconstrued over the years into thinking that there are other things that they aren't accurate to. For now, let's head down here and see there's another Pokemon Center right here. Pop inside of it, and it's just a full-blown Pokemon Center. When you go outside, you can see the roof of a big building. That's the power plant. Yep. Not really necessary for us, because we still need Jerry regardless. You might think, well, we could just put Alucard back in the party, right? No, you can't, because it's a dark tunnel. Welcome to Rock Tunnel. Originally known as Rock Cave or Rock Mountain in Japan. Let's flash. A blinding flash lights the area. You will not be able to see well without that. Some people do just like memorize or have the map on the side. Just have a flash slave on hand, man. It's so much easier. Find an X activity for a trouble right here, though. And the interesting thing is, this place has new encounters for us. Technically 3, but we're going to talk about 2 of them. One of which we could have gotten already. The first of these encounters, well, let's see. Are we going to get lucky? No. Never lucky. Never lucky, of course. Well, regardless, the first of these new encounters we can get, Cubone. Cubone, a pure ground type, are native to the 1st generation, and a pretty competent Pokemon to boot, actually. Cubone and the Marowak evolution that it gets are relatively strong Pokemon that focus on their physical stats, particularly their defense and their special defense, but they kind of suffer from low HP. They're good at taking physical attacks, not so much special, but they're pretty solid at giving them back once they get the opportunity to. I've used Marowak in the past, and it's actually a fairly solid Pokemon if you really want to consider using one. I have a potion in my party for some reason. I don't need that, so let's just dish that real fast. Marowak is, I think, a decent enough addition to most teams, but if you're at this point in the adventure and you're still looking for a 6th team member, I would say there are still better options out here. For now, though, we are going to grab this iron. It's a very useful tool, so we're just going to slap it on someone. I think, for fun, we'll put this on Stark. Why not? The other encounter that you can get, exclusively in the 2nd floor of this place, is Kangaskhan. Normally a Pokemon reserved for the Safari Zone of the 1st generation, they have managed to get out into the wild and inhabit Rock Tunnel. Kangaskhan is actually a Pokemon worth considering. This thing is very powerful at the cost of only having fixation on physical stats and its defenses. Its special defense, or excuse me, special attack, is garbage. That's not a problem, though, because this thing is a bulky, hard-hitting physical attacker anyway. Oh, hi, Cubone. And it learns mostly physical attacks. It's pretty powerful, fairly bulky with over 100 base health. You could do a lot worse than having a Kangaskhan on your team. This is a fairly good Pokemon. Not much else I can say about it, just a good option. So if you really want a late-game addition to your team, why not? There are trainers around here, but they seem to be hiding from me for now. Those little bastards. I'll find them. I am kind of curious if we're going to run into a Kangaskhan, because we've seen Cubone now, which is nice. I do quite enjoy them, but Cubone and Marowak are very one-note in terms of what they do. They smash you with their stick, and that's about it. No held items there. This tunnel is a lot more twisty and turny than it used to be in the 1st gen as well, but there's less floors to it, so that's fine. Let's cross over to this side. Anything over here? Doesn't look like it. There's another ladder. But the thing that I wanted to talk about while we were doing this, there's 2 points of important lore about the 1st generation that a lot of people don't quite get accurate. For the longest time, there was a sort of conversation that Gen 2 was the end of Pokemon, or at least it was originally intended to be the end of the franchise. Like, Generation 3 onwards was sort of an afterthought, and they didn't expect to do that. I don't know why people got this in their head, Because as far back as the year 2000, the head of the Pokemon Company, Satoshi Tajiri, said, no, it is definitely not the end, and it wasn't even getting started. Like, Pokemon was going strong very much right out the gate. They had no reason to cancel the series right after the second installments. I think what it actually got confused for was a 2010 interview where the former company president of the Pokemon Company, Tsunekazu Ishihara, said that he was going to step down after the second generation because he was done. Also, yeah, you can run into wild Marowaks if you're really lucky. They're pretty low encounter rates, though. But even then, Ishihara also kind of backpedaled on this by saying, you know, I'd be kind of stupid to get off this. I couldn't very well get off the ride halfway through. Like, Pokemon is a money-making machine regardless of any time period. Like, it might not make as much money as other points in time, but it always makes money to some degree. So they would be foolish to not just hang out for it. Another max potion over here. Nice. But the other one that I want to talk about is a sort of mystical one that has always sort of identified a lot of people with what Generation 2 is. Yep. That would be the legend of the late and great Satoru Iwata. If you don't know, Satoru Iwata, former Nintendo president, beloved in the community of just gaming as a whole for his technical wizardry, contributions to gaming, and just his lifelong love of gaming as a whole. Iwata was famously known for being the person who, quote-unquote, saved Generation 2 from development hell. He was brought in because they were having trouble fitting Generation 2 into the cartridge because there was so much stuff. With his help, they were able to compress the game down so much that it only filled half the cartridge, thus giving them the opportunity to put the Kanto region in. Is what the legend goes. In actuality, that is not what Satoru Iwata contributed to Generation 2. What he actually contributed to was an algorithm to speed up the memory compression. Well, no, not the compression, but the game's speed and processing, cutting load times down. Which is still, again, a valiant thing and very important, but he was not directly responsible for Kanto being a thing in Generation 2. That was planned from the very start, or at least at some point in development before he got involved. It's a lovely legend, it adds more to his legacy, it is not accurate to the man as a whole. Which is a shame because, again, everyone loves Satoru Iwata. That is not true about him, though. It does make for a good story of just they couldn't fit the entire game in. Someone brought in who is a wizard at coding, compresses the game so well they only take up half the space, so why not throw in a second game? Lovely idea, not what happened at all. You know, I could have sworn there were trainers around here, though. Like, what's going on? I'm only encountering wild Pokemon. TM47. Ooh, wait. Is that? I think that is what I think it is. Please, God. If this is what I've been looking for, this is very important for us. Yes. TM47 is Steel Wing. A steel-type attack, and one of the only ones you'll get in TM form. And Stark and Cordelia can learn it. Do not teach this to your Skarmory, because Skarmory learns this naturally through leveling up. If you're gonna teach it to anyone, teach it to your Scizor. I'm gonna hold off for now, because I need to really process what exactly I want to do with that. There's the exit to Rock Tunnel right there. But we're gonna do a quick little scope around here, because there is still a couple other things we can do while we're in here. Get her out of here. Another item right here. Elixir. Not terrible. Is that really it, though? I could have sworn the Rock Tunnel was longer than this, but I think I'm just thinking of the Generation 1 version, which is a pain in the ass, to put it lightly. Hi, Machop. Yeah, if that's really it, then I guess we're done here. Was part of me was kind of hoping we would encounter, not so much not a Marowak, but a Kangaskhan. Because I don't think we have that in our Pokedex. But I suppose we do have the option to search. We haven't really shown the search feature at all. You can search based off types for Pokemon, which is pretty funny. Oh, this is just a Pokemon you've encountered and caught, though. Yeah, that's a bit more of a pain. Let's not do that. Let's just get out of here. Now, on the other side of Rock Tunnel, it's still listed as Route 10. Keep that in mind, this is still a connecting point between Cerulean and Lavender Town right below us. But there are still trainers around. Ha ha ha! And apparently they're just laughing at us the whole time. What a jerk. Hiker Jim wants to battle. He sends out... Oh, God. Oh, dear. Well, that's a bit scary. You can handle this, right? Current, just drown it. Please, God. Machamp's defenses are good, but not his special defense. Oh, God. Vital Throw. This is a move that never misses, but has to go last. Get out of here, please. I really don't want to deal with Machamps. Never actually used the Machamp before, actually, now that I think about it. I had a Machoke because I actually wound up getting a shiny Machoke in Heart Gold Soul Silver around Mount Mortar. But I never really used a Machamp in a normal run. Ah, 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 achoo! Oh, he was just trying to sneeze, poor guy. Hey, fever is making me sneeze! Ah, ha, ha, achoo! Oh, poor guy. But, there's another one. You like Pokemon, don't you? Me too! Well, that's good. At least someone finally bothered to ask for our feelings about Pokemon. Pokefan Robert. Oh, god damn it. Another one. You know what? No, I'm not dealing with this. I'm letting Cordelia get the run back. She wants vindication after losing to the last Quagsire. Amnesia. You jerk. Would have been a pain in the ass to use Current against it anyway. Water Gun, well, you don't have Surf, and you're not nearly as strong as Misty's Quagsire, so this is fine. It always did kind of confuse me why Misty used a Quagsire of all things, because she's never used one at all over the course of the anime, so it didn't really match up in my brain at all. I always associate her as, like, Starmie, of course, Goldeen, her Politoed she gets in Gen 2, maybe her Corsola, even Gyarados she gets at one point, but not Quagsire. I don't know, it just seemed kind of like an auto mission, but the games in the anime are not always one and the same. They take divergence. A free experience for Cordy, nice. I'd have to say, that's my loss. Yes, you do have to say that because you did in fact lose, bud. Let's put someone else up front because I don't need Current hogging the spotlight. Cordelia, your turn. I believe that's everything around here. Yes, looks like it. So if we head just a little bit further down, we can return to the Nightmare Zone. That's quite some building, huh? It's Kanto's radio tower. This place isn't nearly as somber as it used to be, that's for sure. You need a Poke Flute to wake sleeping Pokemon. Every trainer has to know that. That's not true, you just need a berry for it. People come from all over to pay their respects to the departed souls of Pokemon. I should have said pay respects, not pray respects, but that's besides the point. Lavender Volunteer Pokemon House. This place is quite different from the last time we were here because the Pokemon Tower is no more. Take a look at the sign here. Lavender Town. The Noble Purple Town. Well, that's color accurate, but there we go. Kanto Radio Station. Your favorite programs on air around the clock. Let's head inside. Many people are hard at work here in the radio tower. They must be doing their best to put on good shows. Head over here. Welcome. Feel free to look around anywhere on this floor. Yeah, they're smart enough to know, don't give anyone access to the upper floors at all. Sorry, but you can only tour the ground floor. Ever since Johto's radio tower was taken over by a criminal gang, we have had to step up our security. Understandable. Ah, so you're the Kyle who solved the power plant's problem. Thanks to you, I never lost my job. I tell you, you're a real lifesaver. Please take this as my thanks. And this man gives you the experience card. With that thing, you can tune into radio programs here in Kanto. Yeah! I believe this guy is actually the owner of the Kanto radio tower. He's just gonna keep laughing though, unfortunately. He's not gonna tell us that. If we came here before we fixed the power plant, he would have told us there are a lot of problems and they need someone to fix the power plant so they can get back up and running. Hey there! I'm the Super Music Director. I'm responsible for the gorgeous melodies that go out over the air. Don't be square, grab your music off the air. Well, you know what, maybe I will just do that. Because since we can do this, we can access the radio stations here in Kanto. There is a couple of things we could do. Assuming they're... Oh. Places and People. Brought to you by... me, DJ Lily. Bugcatcher Don is definitely odd. Wow, that's just rude. There doesn't really seem to be many music stations around here, but that's not too big of a deal, to be honest with you. There was another poster right here. What did this say? Perk up Pokemon with mellow sounds of the Pokeflute on Channel 20. Oh, really? Let's see that. 15, 16, 17, 18. Poke Music. There you are. The Pokeflute channel. This is what you need if you want to wake up the Snorlax. Without this, it's not happening. Oh, hello there. There's a radio program that plays Pokeflute music. Oh, your radio needs an experience card to tune into it. Yep. Without that, we wouldn't have access to it because our radio card only works for Johto stations. But we got that taken care of. And now that we're here, let's drop off Jerry once again. There you go, bud. Safe and sound in the box. And where are you? There you are. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. What do you got to say? To the north of Lavender Town is Rock Tunnel. Yep. Already taken care of that. The director of the radio station sure was happy. He said they're back on air because of the power plant is running smoothly again. Yep. That's our doing. You're welcome, everybody. Well, let's take a visit around town because Lavender Town's got quite a lot going on. Some cold-hearted people stopped caring for their Pokemon. Grandpa takes in the poor homeless Pokemon and takes care of them. This was sort of a thing in the first generation, too. There was a lot of people who kind of just take care of wayward Pokemon around Lavender Town. Which is pretty appreciative. Mr. Fuji does live here, but he's not home now. He should be at the Soul House. Soul House? That's a bit foreboding of a name, if I'm being honest. What do you got? Lavender is a tiny, quiet town at the foot of the mountains. It's gotten a bit busier since the radio tower was built. Yeah, I could believe that. I have a bit of experience with a place like that in Colorado. Hello, I'm the name reader. Oh, there is a Kanto name reader. I forgot about that. Well, if you want to change someone's name and don't want to take the magnet train, by all means, just use that. This, I believe, though, is the Soul House. Here we go. And this is Mr. Fuji. Welcome. You appear to be raising your Pokemon in a kind and loving manner. Pokemon lovers come here to pay their respects to departed Pokemon. Please offer condolences for the souls of the departed Pokemon. I'm sure they'll make them happy. This used to be sort of just the base of operations, but after the Pokemon Tower was torn down, which was the place that was a safe haven for Pokemon that had passed away, they were moved over here, and this place was converted into the Soul House. There are other graves of Pokemon here, I think. There's many chambers that only Mr. Fuji may enter. Can't really tell that from visually in this house, but still. The Pokemon that lived with me. I love them like my grandchildren. I came here with my mom to visit Pokemon graves. Kind of unusual in that they don't really acknowledge death as a concept in the world of Pokemon, in spite of the fact that it's ghost types, of course, but Lavender Town's sort of an outlier in that regard. The Soul House. May the souls of Pokemon rest easy. Fair enough. Well, now that we're here, we technically have two different ways we could go. We can head left to Route 8, which will connect us back to Saffron. This has also got a paralysis cure berry. And we could also head directly south. If we head to the west, we could eventually wind up in Celadon City. If we head directly south, we get a sweet jam. And we get the fishing spot. It's a pretty good place to fish, I think, out here. There's a lot of trainers around here, though. And some of them are not ready for us. Let's stomp on some of them. Just a couple, I think, though. Because there's something of note here for us. Do you remember? What, the 21st night of September? Of course I remember that. Oh, no. It's my imposter! No, I'm not a fisherman! I'm not a seeking trader! No. Let's just dispose of this guy real fast. Use Flail, take care of him. Seeking may not be all that powerful, but at least they give decent enough experience when you beat them. Thank you. What else you got? Poliwhirl. That's a bit better. It is kind of tempting to give Cordelia Steel Wing as the TM, but she's going to learn it naturally at some point. Don't focus on that. Just trust me on that. Nice. Ah, so close. I guess you got a bit more bulk to you than a Sea King does, which makes sense. Just peck it. Nice. Less experience, though. Unfortunate. And last but not least, another Sea King. Yeah, that makes sense. Rain continues to fall. You're going to get your ass beat. Smash. Nice. Ouch. Really? Okay, you were a lot bulkier than the last one. That's kind of surprising. Get out of here. There we go. Nice try, Doppelganger. You do remember? No, because I don't know what you're talking about. The tug you feel on the rod when you hook a Pokemon. That's the best feeling ever for an angler like me. Well, I guess he doesn't also remember. Oh well. Yeah, there's quite a few fishermen around here because these are just the docks. Patience is the key to both fishing and Pokemon. I mean, fishing certainly, Pokemon maybe not as much. People don't really like to play stall tactics these days. Let's try Martin. Ooh! Hi, Remoraid. It's another Pokemon that I've never really used as the Remoraid family because since I grew up on Crystal and not Gold or Silver, I couldn't even get these things to begin with. But I guess it is an option in Colosseum. Maybe one day. Probably unlikely, but you never know. Plus, Remoraids are pretty frail Pokemon, so it wasn't going to stand up much to me right now. Second Remoraid, get out of here. Honestly, I could probably just kill you with Swift. Yeah, I figured. Nice crit. Level up. Nice. Good job, Cordelia. Wow. Just mosey on past him. There is a sort of reason as to why I wanted to come down here, though. Because, one, this loops us back to Vermilion City, giving us the chance to say hello to a Mr. Snorlax on the other side of this route. That's not the only thing, though, I want to do. Because Route 12, North Lavender Town, that's not important. I wanted to head over here. To this house. I'm the fishing guru's younger brother. I can see that you like fishing. There's no doubt in my mind at all. So, I know I'm right. Yes, you are. Yes, yes, just as I thought. Here, fishing fan, take this. It's a super rod. Finally! The last of the 3 fishing rods you can get. You can only get it in the Kanto region, the super rod. Try your hand at fishing. Wherever there's water. Remember, you can catch different Pokemon using different rods. With the super rod, I can finally talk about this because I've been putting them off for so long and I feel kind of bad about it. Quillfish is not a good Pokemon. It can only be encountered through either swarm encounters back in the Johto region or getting a super rod and using that. Quillfish is a water poison type, which is a decent combination, but it lacks the real good stats to benefit that, and its moveset, while alright, isn't amazing. It's kind of in an odd situation of being a sort of physical-oriented Pokemon in a generation where water is special and you can't do anything about that, so it's cut off from its best typing. It's not a terrible Pokemon, but it's unremarkable. Until it got better in Generation 8 with the introduction of Legends Arceus, giving it a Hisuian alternate form and the incredibly unfortunate-looking Overquill. I feel sorry for this thing. It looks like it is in constant pain. Overquill trades out water for being dark as a poison type, and it's much stronger. This thing is actually worth a damn. I do wish it stopped looking so intensely like it's about to burst from sheer agony, but it's a much better Pokemon if you want to use something like this. You could do a lot worse. With all that said, I think this is a good stopping point. We have a lot of different options we could do. We could head further south, we could head west, we could head back to Saffron City and cut across to Celadon City. But I think we'll figure that out next time. Next time on Let's Play Pokemon Crystal. We're gonna figure out where we're going next. Till next time, ice out.